Oh, here we
Our
go.
runners are starting here.
This is a very boring part of the game.
No, it's okay.
And
this is a
fun
nice
fact-
place to. No, go ahead. Give your fun fact. Give your fun fact.
I was gonna say you can actually lose time in this segment, which like most people don't think that you can because you're like, oh, you're just mashing. But if you don't mash well enough, you can actually lose like a second or two here. So keep that in mind.
If you notice, MC's stream is like slightly better quality than Josh's. This is more or less like a visual metaphor for their skills and gameplay as well. MC's just looks nicer. We prefer to watch it more. You know, Josh is just sort of along for the ride.
Yeah. He's just here to show off, I guess. Alright, we have a sword and a shield. The shield actually comes in handy too. People don't realize that. When I'm like, you know, if you lose your shield in this run, people are like, oh, it's no big deal. It's whatever, it's your shield. And then they get hit in the face by a spear. Somebody throws a spear at them and they get hit in the face. And I'm like, if you had a shield, that wouldn't have happened. So don't diss the shield. It's important, just like everything else in this game.
Hey, I got my first 129 with my shield stolen on the way to Swamp, and I am positive the frame saves because of the shield were real. Helped.
Yeah, well, you probably just saved lag frames, that's all.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? When you're as bad as I am, there's plenty of them to go around.
Wow.
So we got pretty much a textbook spin on the first key guard there for both players. Went pretty smoothly.
Uh-oh, are we dropping frames on Josh's side?
Yeah, it looks like Josh's stream's trying to catch up a little bit. Oh, it looks okay now.
It's that southern internet, man.
Wow, the shots at literally me and Josh.
Yeah.
Some really nice poke spins for both of them, grabbing that boomerang key as well. And then they'll be moving on into the ball and chain guard. I expect Josh will be doing 8/, and I think MC does the same, but I guess we'll see.
I believe Mchan just got a new PB yesterday.
Yeah, I think yesterday.
With a 131, I believe. So he is definitely on his way to sub 130. Just been improving quite a bit actually over the past month, I would say, like leading up to the tournament.
Yeah. As we kind of mentioned about how MC mostly dabbles in the GBA version or with 100% on SNES, he's one of the players in the tournament that, although he does not have a sub 130 PB, he is most certainly a sub 130 player. And so don't let his PB fool you at all. Like, I genuinely mean that. He has been playing the game for quite a while, and I think that, like, I will not be surprised if he gets another PB during this tournament for sure. He and I race together pretty frequently, and he hangs with me, like, very, very often.
Yeah, for sure. And we should also note that Josh has improved quite a bit over the past little while as well. I think it was maybe less than 2 months ago that he had a 125, 125.35, I think it was, and then he just grinded the game out a little bit and ended up with a 124.44. Saved almost a whole minute on his PB, which is kind of rare for somebody at his level.
Yeah, there's not much
much
to save. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but he's worked really hard, and he's been doing well, I don't know if I should say he's been working on something though that's been helping him big time with his room times and just helping him improve overall. So kudos to him for that.
If you do commentary for my races and I don't get kudos a single time, I'm gonna be let down. Dang.
I'll probably give you a kudos
Wow.
for getting a 130.01 and a 130 and another 130.
Please.
3 days in a row.
Give me kudos if I don't have to bust out the practice hack one time.
Okay, that's true.
That's my goal for the
That's
tournament.
true. Yeah, we'll leave the practice hack out of it. Ooh, kind of bad snakes there for Josh. MC getting good snakes. Damage boost. unfortunately, there's not a whole lot to talk about in Escape because you probably heard the same thing over and over and over again.
If you had been kind of listening to the idea of pumping, though, if you watch MC's stream and pay attention to his D-pad inputs, you can see the pumping in action, though. So if you are trying to learn the game and kind of want to see what that looks like, if you watch his input display, like now you have a nice visual to kind of follow along with if you're curious.
Yeah, that's a good point. And if you're gonna pump anywhere, the best place to pump is definitely in the water segments in Escape. Those are probably actually saves you a couple seconds, and it's definitely worth it.
So both players with solid escapes, sub 6s for everybody. Josh's timer's reset because he's a cheater.
Yeah, I think he's working with a segment timer.
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah. And Josh just recently skipped Sankart, but I think he said for the tournament he was going to pick it up.
Yeah, that makes
just
a
for
lot
safety.
of sense.
Yeah, but he is well known for loving that Sankart. His face is even on it. So.
Loving the Sankart, she says.
Oh yeah. I mean, is there a better heart in the game, really?
I don't know. My last run, I got the that piece on the way to Hera. That was pretty awesome.
Yes, yes. Actually, it used to be a strat to like pick up 4 heart pieces as an extra safety. Like this is like years ago. But last NMG tournament, we saw some old runners do that again. I think Square Wave was one of the runners that did it. And that's one of the heart pieces they pick up also on the pyramid, and I can't remember the other ones, but kind of an interesting strategy. And that was also back when they used to grab, they grabbed bottle and net but not powder, so they would try to like catch fairies when they found them on the overworld, or they would bonk into trees and stuff to get them, and so... And then they learned the power of powder. And that changed everything.
So making our way into Eastern now. Josh heading in through the entrance there. MC shortly behind him. Pretty friendly dungeon overall. Not too many difficult obstacles. It does have some pretty cool tech in a couple rooms that we'll get to shortly. But it's obviously made to be one of the most linear dungeons in the game, so it's kind of like the introductory one.
Yeah, and at this point we still don't have boots, so there's quite a bit of pumping in this segment as well that you'll see from both of these guys.
So Josh getting some pretty nice pot throws on those skeletons. We'll see if MC can follow suit. And of course he doesn't let me down because he never would, and he'll continue onward as well.
Wow. He also got the magic drop that he picked up, but I think it only saves a few frames if you actually grab it, because it's something with like throwing the boomerang costs so many frames, and then your magic refills your magic, which costs so many frames. You get like a net of like, what, 6 frames or something.
You'll notice that MC chose to pick up a pot with 5 arrows and Josh skipped it. You don't need those arrows to finish the dungeon, but if you do not get any arrow drops in the last 2 rooms, you will have to pick up a pot, otherwise it's very obnoxious for later on.
Yeah, we saw Josh with that swag boom picking up the key. That was something that I think somebody else found, but he kind of developed a strat for it and started doing it in runs, so it's pretty cool looking when it goes right.
You see MC's just choosing to pump solely up on that bridge there. That's a pretty good room to practice pumping on if you want to see if you're actually saving time. Just walk across the room normally and then reload the state and see what your time is with some pumping, and you can see your progress there. Both of them got the big key damage boost successfully, which is probably the hardest tech in this dungeon.
Yeah, for sure. Especially anything really that requires you to take damage intentionally is pretty nerve-wracking. But thankfully there are a couple of hearts in that room, so if it does go sideways, you get like a second shot at it, basically.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I like having the Sanctuary Heart, is really for that room, just because it can go south so quickly with how few hearts you have.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But I think I do a different strat that actually causes more hearts of damage than you do.
You do the north-south deal still?
Yeah.
I was doing that for quite a long time. I remember when I first saw you do that, and I was like, that is the best thing ever.
Just because it's a lot more consistent, I find, than the other strats.
I remember I always called it the Emma strat, and you're always like, I don't think I made it up.
No.
But I was like, nah, that's the name. Deal with it.
I'm like, okay, like whoever actually came up with it is gonna hate me now. Alright, Josh finishing off the dungeon with a very solid time.
MC making the Armos look easy. Like a stud.
I would watch Josh as well today because he has been on PB pace quite a few times recently. Believe it or not, after just getting a 124, he can still PB some more. So I would just keep an eye on his run today because there's a good chance that we might see a PB from him.
I really do think that I will not be shocked if either of these runners get a new best in the tournament.
I agree. Yeah, especially Mchan too. Like he could definitely get another PB. He's been playing really well.
Looks like MC is going to be opting to pick up the rupees in the back of Sahasrala's little bungalow here, as Josh will ignore them and be preparing for his rupee route. He's already in really good shape, having gotten that red drop in Eastern, so he'll be looking pretty slick come the end of Hera.
Gotta love that whisper in Sahasrala's ear.
That's a very sensual thing. Whispering in Sahasrala's ear.
You probably just go to him when you're like, give me your money.
Nah, no, it's more like, I got the pendant, like you asked.
This just turned creepy.
You know what? I feel like everything about Sahasrala is already creepy, so it's fine.
This is true. It's kind of like The Shining, like that old guy in The Shining who talks to Danny, like through his thoughts. That's what Sahasrala reminds me of.
Yeah.
Oh, MC's going for the spin speed here as well. This spin speed saves half a second if you do it well. Otherwise, it saves you nothing.
Had a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, that dash that Josh was just at is a little bit unfortunate because you can just lose time from things dropping from the grass because the lag gets pretty bad there, but I mean, it's just one of those things in the game that you just can't control.
I really hope MC gets the water dash.
I hope he doesn't.
Oh, he
Thank God.
did not, unfortunately.
Ooh, a guard in the grass. Now, I know if you get a guard in the grass on your way to fake flippers, then that means you won't get a guard in the grass in the forest later, but I don't know if that applies to this grass also. But if it does apply to this grass, then that's good. He's in good shape then, because you don't want to have a bush guard in the forest. Well, I guess it doesn't matter for MC because he's not doing tree rupees, but it's nice to have beams for Aga Tower.
Josh cleaning up those popos pretty nicely. MC getting past the little Sarlacc monster. Good RNG on the balls for Josh as well. And a smooth transition out of the Bonk key for the Chan.
They're gonna
the
high-five each
Chan
other.
man.
The Chan man.
That's
Isn't that
what I'm
from
calling
Friends?
I don't know. I've never watched Friends. Judge
the
away.
Chan man, I think it is. Yeah. If anybody can name the ad or the name that's on the TV guide that they get at their apartment, I'll give you a star. Alright, right. MC Han just spamming the book.
Listen, he's in college. He's used to reading all the time. He's just illustrating his education, right? He's all in. Josh not going for the spin speed. Not proud. Maybe next time. You need to start referencing good shows like the OC so I can actually get your things you're talking about.
I've never watched the OC, so.
Weren't you an angsty teenager at some point? I know you listen to emo punk music, Emma. Come on.
No, I did.
We have the same taste.
I know. That's why we're friends.
I know.
I watched One Tree Hill. That was my favorite, not the OC.
One Tree Hill. I don't know what it is. I know what it is, but I don't really know what it is. I know that it's like an emotional kind of like Dawson's Creek kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
You would like it. I think you would like it.
Okay, all right, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just laughing because although I didn't know much about the show, the one person I knew that watched One Tree Hill was like the kid that was forever getting suspended from school, but he was like really into One Tree Hill.
Wow, that's odd. Usually you don't see that.
Just some symmetry for the world, you know.
Yeah.
So you got Josh getting some decent patterns on Landmo, taking care of it really, really nicely here, so we can clean it up. That was a really, really slick fight, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
MC entering his own. Choosing not to go for the third Landmo. Kind of risky, so we'll see if he's able to kind of catch up.
Ooh. Only got one left, though.
Yeah.
Oh, and a short hop.
He still needs 3 more for it, unfortunately. Alright, nice finish up for him, though.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all.
Maybe he was thinking, you know, if I eliminate this worm that I've already put 3 in, then I don't have to, like, worry about them all popping up at the same time, so good for him.
Yeah. Ooh, Josh got hit by a crab there. He got crabbed.
Got hit by the crab. Ladies, it's okay.
Oh my god, he got close to soft locking there. Whew.
Joshua RTA.
My heart.
You be careful, sir.
I'm sure most people know, but yeah, if you do fake flippers like that and then you get hit while you're in the water, then you soft lock because the game does not know where to place you. So it continually tries to find a place to put you, and it's just an infinite scroll. So you don't want to get hit.
One thing I like to mention in this is that for the dialogue boxes in this cave, we're at the old man, because you can't access the map in the cave, I like strongly prefer mashing the X button, because with the A button, you can accidentally like start a dash and like, you know, waste frames with that. If you press the B button, you can accidentally slash your sword, but because the map button doesn't do anything, it's actually in your favor to mash the X button during all of those pieces of dialogue. It's a nice little trick where it doesn't really apply anywhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because most of the time, I think even when you're in Zora's domain, you can map there. I know you can't use items, but yeah, you can map while you're in there. And there's some places too where like you can get frame perfect maps. Like one notable one is when you're outside pod and mashing those text boxes. I know a lot of people accidentally use an item outside pod, which is kind of annoying.
Josh had a little bit of trolling RNG. MC just also getting hit by a pretty nasty cabbage, a little bit out of his control. But it looks like both of our players are going to get up Death Mountain all right.
Isn't all cabbage nasty?
Yeah, that's also true. Let me ask you this. If all meats were considered vegetables, what would your favorite vegetable be and why would it be steak?
Not steak, but that's okay.
What?
Oh, Josh getting the boom dash. Very nice. It's a tough trick. You have to do like, what, 3 inputs at once?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. You got
it takes some practice. It's honestly one of the simpler tricks that it took me a long time to get consistent at.
And I think MC, I'm wondering here if he's going to do the boomless Hera, which was just recently found to be, I think, just as fast or close to being just as fast as doing Hera with the boomerang, if you're not going for the boom dash. So that was probably confusing what I just said. But if you're in the base and you're not doing the boom dash like Josh did, then there's really not a whole lot of sense in changing to the boomerang here because you don't need it, really. And somebody had found that it's just a little bit, I think, about the same, if not just slightly slower to do it without the boomerang out. So it looks like that's what he's doing here.
Pretty nice Beatles room for Josh. Nice little cleanup there. MC heading down to his big key. Josh struggling with the wall boss there, a little tricky. We'll see what boom. We'll see what bomb jump he opts to go for. The old boom jump.
The boom jump.
Yeah, dude, you throw the boomerang, hop your booty on it, and just ride on it.
Yeah, it's a good one. Very clean.
So fresh and so clean. MC almost dashing into the door, catching it and able to kind of react pretty quickly there. That could have gotten a little ugly, so nice for him.
Alright, nobody getting a safety switch, so GG. Ooh, Josh getting knocked back out twice by Moldorm. He's got to be careful because Moldorm can actually knock you into the railing. Oh, and a fall.
Josh is in a tight spot. He did not hit the friend switch, so we're gonna have to see what he plays this a little safe here.
Yeah, he's got to be careful because taking a death here.
MC also takes a fireball. He's gonna be having a. I don't know if he hits the switch either.
Oof, Josh scaring me. I'm gonna assume that Josh knows what he's doing though. I don't know if that's a bad assumption. Oh,
gets
and
a nice dash there. I was a little nervous. I would not have dashed there.
No, I wouldn't have
But
either.
good for Josh. Going in with one heart. Rolling deep. Wasn't scared at all. Wasn't even scared.
No,
wasn't even scared.
not even. I would be crying
I
in
was
the
scared.
corner,
Not gonna lie.
honestly.
I was a little bit scared.
Ooh, MC. Scaring me too. These dashes. My heart
These
can't
runners are the honey badgers of this tournament because they just don't care, man. They'll dash anything.
Honey badgers do not care.
MC with
man.
another slick dash hit, finishing up the fight.
Nice.
Those were both really impeccable fights, honestly.
Yeah, those are actually really good. I mean, minus the fall, but
The second one.
yeah. What first fight? There was no first fight.
She's not your dad, and I'm not your mom. Your moves are weak. Yeah, your moves are weak, babe. There were no moves.
I don't know what that's from.
MC sick, I like it.
Oh yeah, Josh's timer, he's using a segment timer, so you'll only see his segment time. Alright, Josh with a 108 Master Sword. That's a new record. Nice clean movement here from Mchan through the forest. Very nice.
Josh has gotten like plentiful rupee drops, so he doesn't need any more rupees once he gets through the rupee tree pool that he'll be doing here shortly.
Yeah, he got pretty lucky with drops, I guess.
Yeah, you got getting hit with the red rupee in Eastern is really favorable. Kind of keep in mind, like, MC had already done his rupees, so Josh had a little bit of a time advantage going into this split, so their gap's actually a little bit closer than what it looked like after Hera because of that, because MC will not be making that stop at the tree.
And I wonder if we'll see a difference in strats in the Gold Knights room in Aga Tower. I know for sure Josh will be doing what we call Pooey Knights, which is where you spin one and then throw a few arrows along the way. But the other strat is called Servant Up Din Din, where you basically ding the door and to coax the Gold Knights down so you can just spin them and kill them both.
I've never been able to explain the name of that strat in commentary without giggling at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to say, like, with all sincerity. Yeah, this is called Serving Up Din Din.
Yeah. And the dinner here is death, so, you know, not the best dinner.
Oh my. I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
So now we got Chef MC serving up the din din for everybody now. Oh, goes a little bit too early.
Ooh. Nice. He manages to avoid getting hit there, which is good.
You'll notice both runners hitting these two little pokey guys with their beams and dashing through them to prevent them from dropping anything, keeping their fairy drop for Turtle Rock intact.
Josh having a bit of trouble there in the arrow key guard room, but making it out okay. Very nice strat in that red spear guard room.
This is one of the most difficult dungeons in the game to go through hitless, so Josh still having his beams at this point is really solid.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just so many, like, between the dark maze, the arrow key guard, there's so many places that they're just little nicks that can hit you really easily, so this is a really solid Aga Tower for Josh right now. And even MC, who's only gotten one hit so far, and that was not even in... Oh, I jinxed him.
Oh,
of
man.
course. I'm
Wow.
sorry, Chef MC. You can roast me later, Chef.
Yeah, he's gonna serve up Din Din to you.
That sounds romantic, and I'm okay with it. So now Zelda's being abducted, because, of course. You would abduct my Zelda, don't even lie to me. I know you'd steal her.
Ooh. Well, we had good Circle of Pots RNG for both, which is nice. We'll see how many blue balls these guys get.
What's this room? It's not called anything, Sabin. It definitely doesn't have a name. Josh getting hit with all the blue balls right now. Although,
wow, look at that.
Being pretty favorable.
Yeah, he just stayed in the same spot the whole time. So you have 3 blue balls for Josh so far.
This was a really strong light world for MC, by the way, guys. For both players, honestly, but for MC, this is a really nice start to his run. I'm really hoping he can maintain this through the dark world as well.
Looks like 3 blue balls for Josh. Is MC on his way to get 0 here? He hasn't had a blue ball, has he?
I think he had one already.
Oh, he had 1. Dang. Interesting. I've never seen that menu buffer before.
So Josh with a really nice light world there. Just over 30 minutes. MC, one dialogue behind him. Pretty nice light worlds for both guys. Glad to see that this race is shaping up to the Goliath of matchups that we all anticipated. Glad we didn't talk it up too much because this is for real.
Yeah, definitely.
Not to mention, I decided not to pay my rent for next month and bet it on MC because it is a sure thing. Ready to go.
Well, I hope you have a backup.
Please.
Alright, so Pod coming up here. I honestly think this is a pretty difficult dungeon. There's a lot of rooms that you need to do well, and a lot of, I guess, well, not a lot of RNG, but there's some RNG that can really kind of make or break your time here, especially with Helmasaur. He can really, you know, decide whether or not you have a decent time in this dungeon.
The other thing I like to note about Pod is, like, from this point on, the overworld travel is going to become significantly more difficult and impact the segments way more than they had in the light world. You'll notice that there, you know, with this maze and some of the other tech that they had to do coming off of the pyramid, it's already become more complicated than most of the traveling in the overworld and the light world, and it'll continue to get a little increasingly more difficult as the run goes on. People often kind of focus on just like execution and skills in the dungeons, and a lot of those people kind of neglect the overworld, and you know, you can lose a ton of time with bad movement there as well.
Oh, it looks like we have an actual timer from Josh now. So now you can see where he actually is. Alright, Josh coming up on the hammer jump here. Probably one of the tougher tricks, I think, in the game, especially if you're learning, just learning. This one's pretty intimidating. But once you get it, it's really not that bad. And Josh shouldn't have too much of a trouble. Shouldn't have too much trouble.
Words, it's fine.
Words, you know, hey, I worked long hours today, okay? I'm just tired.
I'm with you.
There you go, very nice hammer jump from Josh.
Used a couple extra buffers, nothing to scoff at. It's super, super smooth jump there to the hammer. Now he'll grab the small key and give a mirror and finish it up. MC making his way to the hammer jump as well. The one thing that's kind of significant about this dungeon is certainly the boss, Helmasaur. Can be very difficult with how few hearts you have at this point. Obviously, if you're playing casually, you're expected to have picked up a number of heart pieces and kind of, you know, gathered some more health. So Helmasaur can go south very quickly if he chooses to kind of spam fireballs and bad movement on you.
Just want to point out, Josh just had a sexy statue. It's pretty nice. MC actually had a very nice hammer jump too. It was only a few extra buffers, I think.
MC slashing the rogue tomato to get a little quick boost off him there. I like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, MC had a really nice statue push there as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was clean. Good turtles from Josh.
Josh, some perf turts.
No siesta de la tortuga for Josh.
Siesta?
Is that what you said?
The nap of the turtles?
What did you call it? I don't.
It's fiesta! Party!
I don't speak Spanish. Listen.
Siesta
I am
de
a
las
Canadian
Tortugas.
girl.
That's the new name.
I grew up learning French.
Renap of the Turtles.
Remember?
Where's Scrivo at? He would give you a hard time too.
I don't even. Well, Josh is probably gonna give me a hard time for that one. Siesta's better anyway.
That's
who wants
true.
a party when you can nap?
Someone clip this and send it to Josh right
Please
now.
Please don't.
Josh had a really nice finish on Helma there. Nice second phase. See if MC can come up here. Hopefully he doesn't fall asleep in this room, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, perfect. Perf Turts round 2.
Siesta de la Tortuga. Let's see how Helmasaur goes for Mchan here. Like we said, like this fight can really, it can go really well, you know, if he gives you good RNG, or it can go poorly and lose you some time if he, you know, throws out a bunch of fireballs and stuff. Josh went for the hammer strat, which is a bit more, I guess, of an advanced strat, I guess you would consider it, because you really have to get up close and personal with Helmasaur, and it can be a little bit risky. He can charge at you and hit you, or you can run into him even, or miss some hammers. It's just definitely something you want to do when you're more comfortable with the fight. MC opting for the slashes, which you know, is a strat that most people still do because it's safe and you can get all your hits in pretty easily.
So this is probably one of the longer segments of Overworld in the entire run. I actually think it is the longest. Yeah, I imagine, right? Okay.
It takes about 3 minutes to get
it's
into
pretty
the dungeon,
long.
so,
if you can get into Thieves Town in under 3 minutes, you are on a really nice pace. So this is there's quite a bit of difficult areas in this segment. Here's one right here with the hammer dash, nicely done by Josh. And then all the way he'll kind of finish up and head towards the Flute Boy coming up here. MC with a nice 37:19 time coming out of pod. That's actually really nice.
That is a nice time. Josh getting his flute. Hopefully it only takes him 1 dig. Or is he gonna pull a Scrivo and go for 2 digs? Just 1. That's fine.
That's silly of him.
Mchan is actually not that far behind my PB right now, coming out of pod, so fingers crossed for 129 this run.
So now you'll see Josh going for another spin speed here. This time, because you travel a little bit further, it's much more worthwhile. It makes it significantly easier to get past that trolley red guard there and kind of just cruise on by him.
Usain Bolt.
I prefer to spam the flute on that screen while I do it just for the swag, but...
Yeah. Swag.
Learned that from Mishrak, and I've done it ever since.
Wow.
Makes me happy. Stand up for my fellow statesmen.
Alright, Mchan's got his flute now. Ooh. Josh dashing a little bit over to the left there, so he hit the guard. You can actually completely avoid him if you dash kind of like in the center of that tile, or that pathway, I guess I should say, or even a little bit over to the right of it.
MC is currently spamming the flute right now, and I am so proud of him.
Wow.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a sportsman, if ever there was one. I talk about some bad memes, and he comes up clutch, validating what I have just said. Me and MC we're kind of like, we have matching wavelengths all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh, Josh almost getting hit by that ghosty woasty on his way in. Fortunately, got a nice little dodge there.
Aren't they called Pose?
Yeah, if you don't know that they're actually called ghosty woasties.
I got my Zelda Bible right here. I can even double check.
I know they're called Pose in Ocarina of Time, if that makes you want to rethink what you've said.
I'll put this away.
Fair enough. See? Agree to disagree. Ghosty Wosty. Yeah, I know. If you don't know the weeb speak, like I do, GH. All right, Josh coming up on the most important room if you are the Sabin. MC handling those ghosty wosties, no problem at all. Having really unfortunate RNG in the Hellway is Josh. Was able to kind of deal with it really, really smoothly, though. Fortunately, didn't cost him too much. Probably only lost like 2 seconds there, despite having to dash a couple times.
Ooh. Getting hit by that, grasshopper? What are they called? I don't know.
Gives me crap for saying ghosty wosty and calls these grasshoppers. I see how it is. The double standards in commentary is real, folks.
Okay, grasshopper's better than ghosty wosty. Who is ghosty wosty? Nobody. They are called pose, by the way. I looked it up, so. Ghosty wosty. See if MC gets the Hellway. No, but
he also got kind of unfavorable RNG.
Yeah, that's not very nice. Ugh. What a bad room.
Yeah, it's really difficult whenever they will like shift back and forth, the Patrick stars. Josh heading into the prison, having pretty smooth there. Grabbed the one gate just for a couple frames, but was able to regain his movement pretty quickly and got through the second one just fine. Grassy nasty is what they're called.
Yikes.
Alright, MC is going to be heading down in the basement as Josh is coming out of it here. He'll be setting up for the blind fight.
And this fight should go smoothly.
Nice pokes on the second phase. Lining up with that bonk for phase 3.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. MC opting to walk. If you are not consistent with dashing to each door and canceling them right before you get there, it is actually much faster to walk. I walked through the entire prison until I was at like 129, just because it's so difficult to actually save time dashing from gate to gate, despite what some people may think it at like outward appearance.
I still walk because I bonk a lot.
It's like really difficult to be consistent enough with the dashes and cancels to really save frames. And on average, most people lose time that dash for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Josh heading down past the Ghosty Wosties to the bombable hut where he's going to pick up 300 rupees. MC taking 1 hit of damage, no big deal. Finishes up blind. Nice and easy.
Still a good fight. Alright, Josh off to get a sword. Another sword. A better sword.
A redder sword. Better sword, redder sword.
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
One fish, two fish. Better sword, redder sword. MC Just gonna toss the bomb, see if he can get one from the bush. Actually, doesn't slash the one that has the bombs. I thought that's what he was going for. Apparently, he just wanted to get them out of the way so he could time his dash properly. I never actually thought about doing that before. That's interesting.
All right, let's see if Josh gets fence dash. This is super important. Wow, he didn't even go for it.
Didn't even go for it. Not proud.
No. Instant lose for Josh.
But on the real though, again, like kind of looking at just like the tournament's depth. We were talking early on about like these runners' PBs and how their PBs are like 6.5 minutes apart, and this race is so close right now. And I think you can kind of expect more of this throughout the tournament. So I'm really glad that this race is going the way it is. MC is having a fantastic run right now.
Yeah, he really is. And Josh has been having some pretty clean segments. I just think that the fall to Moldorm earlier is what put him behind.
One of the trickiest rooms in the game. Josh getting some bad RNG. Slashing the mummy though. Gets through before he's able to sneak back in there. Nicely done. MC has not let me down yet, so
well,
I'll give him half credit because he didn't dash twice, but it wasn't quite the fence dash. Josh getting a nice bomb jump there, grabbing the fire rod, falling down the hole. He's gonna use those iframes to walk right on through this popo. Or Ropa. I guess it's Ropa now, yeah? Is that the deal?
Yeah, it's a Ropa somewhere in a Popo.
The old bag outside.
Now, Josh actually wrote the tutorial on Mothula. And if you ever watch it on YouTube, make sure you turn captions on. Although I'm told it's not as funny as it used to be since captions have now, or closed captioning has improved on YouTube. But it's still pretty funny. So we should expect a good fight from him here.
MC with a really nice mummy room and big key room there. Josh gonna cruise on through this mummy hellway.
It was a very nice mummy hellway.
MC also had a really nice bomb jump. Let's see how Josh's Mothula goes.
Okay, maybe I jinxed him a little bit.
He's got some pretty crummy RNG with that first movement.
With the spikes just getting right in his way. Yeah. Okay, well there you go. He cleaned it up.
Pretty meticulous with his movement, fortunately. And you'll notice that key that MC just grabbed and then walked out of there. Josh also did the same. Another fact, a lot of people grab that small key and dash to the bottom and then walk to the right. And it's actually significantly faster to walk straight down and then hold diagonal once you get on a 45-degree angle to the door. So dashing out of that room is actually very tempting, but not faster, surprisingly.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things like that in the game where you think that something is faster, but it turns out it's actually not. So ALTTP is just one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly feels easier. You know, you're just like, oh, I can dash her at the boots, but sometimes it's actually for a loss.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Oh, MC. A little bit risky there, killing that mini Helmasaur, because they're in the prize pack with the fairies, and if he killed that mini Helmasaur and got the fairy there, then he would have lost his fairy in Turtle Rock. I'm sure it was just an accident, but that's something you really need to be careful with if you're trying to manipulate a fairy drop in Turtle Rock.
Remember when I said that MC actually made the tutorial on Mothula? Did you see that incredible bout between the shameless MC abusing that insectoid moth monster, because that was top tier.
That was a really nice fight. Josh on his way to get Quake and then Flippers, which, in my opinion, this is like one of the worst overworld segments in the game. It's just pretty difficult and annoying.
This one's almost as long as the Thieves Town one. It's a little bit shorter. So it's like 2 something, I think. Yeah, like late 2 somethings.
Yeah, there's like about a 5-second difference, I think, or a little bit more than that. Sorry, it's probably more like 10 to 15 seconds. So I think this one's about like a 2.
Yeah, it sounds.
45
I think it's like 2:45 is a pretty good one. It sounds about right.
Yeah.
Zora's Domain might be the most time you spend on any one overworld screen, even excluding the dialogue. It's pretty lengthy travel.
Yeah. MC getting unlucky with that grass skull rock.
You'll notice that Josh dashed a little bit higher than he really had to, so to speak, and dashed across the grass there. Because Link's movement's a little bit faster on the grass than in the water, it's actually a little faster if you can just hover the edge of the grass, avoiding the water dash animation.
Nobody likes the water dash.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Not even. You sure?
Nobody.
All right, Josh with some pretty nice movement there to kind of avoid that Zora. I didn't have to slash him or anything. Coming up on Ice Palace, probably one of the most frightening dungeons in a race setting, just because of the nature of dying, kind of, you know, putting a damper on your route, in a sense.
Yeah, this dungeon is really hard. It's like basically a series of rooms that just require good execution in order to like do well in the dungeon. There's a lot of tough rooms, like that second room in ice is hard, and this bomb floor room can be difficult if the RNG is bad. You know, then you've got the conveyor room, which is difficult. You got Ice Palace bomb jump. You have the penguin lineup. There's just so many rooms in this dungeon that really require quite a bit of attention in order to execute well. So I personally think this is probably one of the hardest or Dark World dungeons in the game.
Josh is going for a really nice trick here, throwing both bombs, playing a bomb on the corner there and then throwing one as the first one's blowing up. Now you won't have to hit the switch in the conveyor room. Kind of hope he goes for the D-boost on the conveyor. Choosing just to go through pretty safely. That makes sense for the race.
Yeah, for sure. Very nice. Bomb jump. Very, very clean. Nice Ice 2 room from Mchan.
Got a nice bomb drop. Had a little trouble trying to get the hitbox to connect there. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was a little weird. It was like on the corner, and for some reason Link
Josh with a really, really nice good ice floor into the stairs there. That's
nice,
like
good.
One of the hardest rooms to execute in this dungeon. If you go for that strategy, at least.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a tough one. Alright, so I think that from Josh we're gonna see poke dash strats on Cold Stare. And I think from Mchan we're probably gonna see the 6-slash. Both good strats for sure. The poke dash is definitely more of an advanced strat and is just a little bit faster. But both definitely good strats. Ooh,
Josh taking a nice
a little early.
There. Fortunately, he had a clean dungeon, so he's got plenty of health to work with right now.
Don't jinx him, please. No! Oh my god. Josh taking a death to Cold Stare. Probably one of the worst places to die in this game. Because now he has to... I think what he's probably going to do is go to Swamp Palace and do Swamp, and then come back and finish Cold Stare, or finish Ice Palace after. But the unfortunate thing is now he has to go through the entire dungeon again, pretty much, and do most of the same tricks and things. So it does take pretty much the same amount of time. Which really sucks. That puts him back quite a bit, but that's okay. Yeah,
so now he looks like he's just gonna head to Swamp, obviously, and clean up there, and then come back immediately after. You can certainly farm magic outside if you want to give it a go, but obviously if you don't get it, all of that time is gonna be, you know, just piling up as you go.
Yeah, and the advantage to doing this is that when you complete Swamp, you get a full heart and magic refill, and so you can just go straight back to Ice Palace and finish that off. So see what kind of fight Mchan has here. He was just practicing it before.
He does the same strat I do. 7, move down, and then 1.
Nice fight from Mchan.
Nice fight, MC. Josh moving into Swamp, getting through those first little water ghosty woasties, getting the key, and heading down.
They're not even ghosts, like they're not even close to being ghosts.
No, I'm
more like they're water bugs or Tectites.
I just want to say ghosty woasty now. I want to make it part of the Link to the Past vernacular, so that I can just add that to the Mutsky Thesaurus vernacular.
Oh my goodness. Alright. So, I don't know what strats MC does here. I don't know if he's gonna go...
I think he does this... I thought he did the same thing that you and I did, but I'm not positive.
Well, I guess we'll find out in a second here. So there's two different, I guess, routes that you can do here. You can either go straight to Swamp Palace, or you can get either an Ice Rod first before going into Swamp Palace. And all that does is really just give you extra health for the Myers, or just kind of guarantees that you have more health for
It looks like he's going to head straight to Swamp here.
Yeah. So I guess we won't really see the time difference until... I guess until Josh has finished Cold Stare.
I think at the point, like, MC obviously has a decent advantage at this point. But we'll see how much Josh is able to catch back up while MC's in Swamp and into Mire.
Yeah, definitely the end game is huge, because a lot of people, you know, the difference between, you know, a 124 player and a 130-ish player is definitely mostly end game. Turtle Rock, G Tower, and Ganon are probably the three toughest segments right at the end of the game.
This is actually MC's favorite room in the game.
Yeah. But Josh could potentially save, you know, like a whole minute or so, just in the end game.
I'm curious to see if Josh decides to pick up 1 or 2 of the hearts under the pots on the way to Argus, if he takes any more damage here. 4 should be enough, but, you know, he doesn't want to take another death at any point in the run, because that would certainly put him behind the 8-ball.
Yeah, I think for safety he may actually grab those, but we'll see. There's actually a trick too where if you hookshot the hearts, you have the chance to get double the hearts. So if you're really low, make sure you're hookshotting those hearts. Josh is having a pretty good segment here so far.
Doing those 2 slashes there just to time his dash on that jelly, those were not an accident. Nice way for him to know exactly what part of the cycle he's on.
Yeah, slashing twice like that.
MC got some bad RNG with that movement of a fire snake.
Yeah. Yeah, when he's in the door like that, it's not good. Oh yeah, there we go. So Josh got everything in the refill room. I figured he'd grab those hearts just for safety.
It's such a negligible difference, and again, like, another death would really put him on the spot.
Yeah, and especially after a cold stare death, that's really, like, you just don't want to take any more chances. Going for the 0 cycle. Oh, and he gets hit by Argus.
Yeah, Argus decided to charge full face forward there. Ooh, hopefully he doesn't get a second cycle.
Ooh, jeez, he's getting close. Whew. He did get a second cycle, though.
Yeah, that's okay. That's certainly better than taking a death at this point. Fortunately, he chose to pick up those 2 hearts, which ended up being the difference maker.
Yeah, an interesting thing about Argus is you notice how Josh kind of waited a little bit to menu. He actually found that if you menu while Argus is in the air, he actually continues to go in the air while you're in the menu, I believe is how that works. So you actually save a few frames by menuing during Argus's ascension. Right, so we should see Josh go back to Ice Palace at this point. Unfortunately, the swamp cutscene is the longest one at 55 seconds. So MC on his way to Argus, Josh re-entering Ice Palace. I guess we'll see pretty soon then what the difference is between the two. I'm gonna guess it's probably a couple of minutes. But we'll see. I'm probably wrong.
MC heading into Argus. Probably going to see a more traditional fight. Yep, here we go with some basic slashes. Moving to the right corner. Hopefully we can get a nice smooth 1 cycle.
I believe the difference between this strat and 0 cycle is it like 6 seconds or something?
Yeah, for me it's about 6 or 7 seconds if you choose not to do the fire rod. Depending on what strategy you do. If you do the 2 spins, it's about 6 or 7 seconds. Which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but for 1 boss fight, 6 or 7 seconds is a ton of time.
Yeah.
That's more or less like an entire, like, medium-sized screen.
Alright. So, Josh coming back up on the bomb jump here. Another clean one. Nice recovery there. This is gonna be pretty close. I mean, Josh is getting close to Cold Stare.
Having a little trouble with the Lonely Firebar. Ends up taking a small hit when he moves down. But
We've got to be careful of those.
How much do they do? 2?
I think they do a lot. I think it's more like 3 or 4.
Oh, really? I haven't been hit by one in a long time. I've definitely been killed by one while falling down the hole.
Yeah.
MC having a little bit of a little party of squirrels here. The Squirrel Meister.
De la Squirrel to go. Right? How's my Spanish?
Muy bueno.
Yeah.
Whew. MC trying to give that squirrel a hug, realizing he didn't really want to do that, and decided to proceed onward past him.
Oh, and Josh, very nice fight. Definitely got his revenge on
Got his revenge on Cold Stare.
Yeah. MC trying to farm for hearts, only gets one unfortunately, but that's okay. There's another screen where he can farm some hearts. It'll be the Ice Rod screen. You can farm the crabs there. So yeah, these crabs also drop hearts, so you might see Mchan farm them a little bit to see if he can get his health back to full. That's just gonna help him out big time in Mire. Oh, and he's gonna do the spin speed.
Swag. I'm so proud of him.
Aw.
Oh,
that was
so let down.
But he went for it, that's what matters, right?
Yeah, there hasn't been blue balls like this part since the friggin' Aghanim fight. Aghanim. Oh.
Josh getting
a little bit bodied by the cabbages there.
Yeah. So there's the reason, well, one of the reasons why this strat is faster, like getting the Ether and Ice Rod on this segment rather than the swamp segment, is what Josh just did, which was a sword climb up the ladder there. You can see it's much faster than just pumping up the ladder. The problems with this strat, though, is, well, first of all, if you can't get that, it's not faster, and secondly, if you take damage and you're having to farm for hearts, you've actually just lost time, because I think it's only about a second difference between the two strategies. Like getting this during swamp versus getting it during the Mire segment and being able to do the sword climb.
MC going for some fire rod strats here. Ooh, gets unlucky with the Popo getting in the way there. Cleans up for a nice 2-cycle though.
And good call grabbing that extra heart there. Ooh, nice. Okay, he almost got hit.
MC with those jungle cat-like reflexes identified the danger. Fight or flight response of a champion right there. Oh my.
Nah, that was really good. I've never seen someone react to that well.
I feel like I picked that tunnel. I see the snake. I'm like, oh well, whatever. Unlucky. Taking it to the face. To the face,
yeah.
And then, unfortunately, gets hit by a fireball.
That's alright. So it is important in this dungeon not to take too much damage if you don't have powder, because you intentionally take damage on the boss, and the last thing you want to do is die here, because it's a couple minutes time loss. So, but good call by MC there. Also trying to avoid that bomb slug, because they do quite a bit of damage. I think isn't it like 4 hearts or something ridiculous?
Yeah, they do 4.
Yeah. So.
Nobody letting the bird live today, though, fortunately.
Yeah, Josh having a very nice Mire too with the fire rod. I think this is going to be a pretty close race.
Yeah, some 108 torches for MC. That's pretty good for him. She'll be very happy with that time so far.
Pretty solid time. He could definitely PB here, actually, with that kind of time. It's about, for like a player like Josh, his torches time is about 20 minutes to the end game. For other players that are not at the 124 level, it's more like 21 to 22 minutes.
So mine's probably like 21. I think I have a 106 torches. That sounds about right.
Yeah, mine's definitely 21 as well. It's just when you get like really, really good that you're about 20 minutes. But so we can guess that Mchan may actually be on like 129 to 130 pace right now. All depends on how his end game goes, though. Josh with a 109.59 torches time. So he will likely have a 129 this race. Or a 130, depending on end game.
MC going for the dash strat there, making sure he gets that heart. I think MC's new PB is like a 131.
Yeah, I think it's I want to say it's like a high 131. I think it's like 131.42 or something like that.
He texted me before the race and said he doesn't have any interest in getting a 130. He wants to skip it and head straight for the 129, which I respect. Holding him to it.
130.132 is Mchan's last PB he got last night.
Josh is grabbing the cane. MC opting not to use the fire rod there and slash the switch as he heads into the last couple of rooms here. He'll head on into Vitreous very shortly, and hopefully that will go smoothly for him. Josh, meanwhile, finally getting into the area with the big key door, and he'll head down to the basement, try to close that gap a little bit more.
Yep, and we'll see how MC's fight goes here. This is definitely a scary fight, and you have to intentionally take damage. And if one of the eyes bops you, they do you for quite a few hearts, so don't want to
MC opting for the slash strats. Very nice. Not wasting any arrows here.
Josh currently in the worst room in the game. That stupid block is like, or that switch is like a pixel, it seems like.
A pretty nice Meyer segment for MC. Had a little bit of trouble on the overworld at a couple points, but the dungeon, for the most part, was pretty smooth and cleaned up Vidi relatively easily. So hopefully he can parlay that into another nice dungeon segment into T-Rock. Josh needs to be a little careful heading into Vidi. Only has 6 hearts left, so he's gonna have to kind of be, you know, a little more conscious about how he wants to handle his movement into the slime.
So Mchan finishing Meyer at 112.38, and we'll see when Josh finishes, so we can get kind of a guess here at what their the difference is. Very nice fight from Josh there, very clean.
Yeah, that was a textbook 4 hearts Vidi fight there. MC getting a really nice RNG and really solid movement through that squirrel area there on the overworld. Kind of making up for his squirrel block he got on the way up the last time.
That was a nice Turtle Rock overworld. Well, first part of it anyway. I guess there's more.
MC making his way to Turtle the Rock Johnson. Gonna be hammering the pegs down here and making his way into the dark world. Oh, there it is, buddy.
So Josh finishing at 113.50, so they're about a minute and 12 seconds apart at the moment. We'll see. Josh should make up some time in these last segments. Oh, he was going for the Waffle House, but unfortunately got blocked by a squirrel there and couldn't finish it. That saves, I think, a second. Over...
It saves a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
I'd say my best one is, it's noticeably faster. It's like at least a second.
Yeah.
Like between 40 and 70 frames, probably.
Yeah. MC having a good Turtle Rock so far.
No, I need to have him give me a tutorial on the platform room.
Yeah.
Dude, that is like the one room in Turtle Rock that I am so inexplicably bad at.
Yeah.
Comes in, freaking annihilates every part of the movement.
I just feel like an idiot when I'm trying to like menu quickly to the hook shot. I'm like, you know, freaking out, like trying to push the button as fast as I can. Like, it's the only place in the game where I like do that, I feel like.
MC chose to mirror out there. Obviously doesn't tank any damage from the roller. Guaranteed full magic pickup because he already had the bomb he needs for G Tower, so we didn't need to pick up the right pot. Got a nice heart drop, didn't waste the fairy, so he'll be able to get that later if he needs to. Using beams here pretty smoothly. Although, actually placed a block on the second one.
Yeah, I was like,
whatever, MC.
That's all right.
He's like, you know what? He's like, I know what Kev's gonna say in commentary right now, and I'm gonna do exactly not that.
Yeah, he's just trying to make sure we're paying attention.
Keeping me on my toes. I appreciate the challenge, MC.
MC would have been fine skipping those arrows there, but I know some people just aren't comfortable having just 18 or 19 arrows on Ice Armos.
Yeah, so that'll put him at a nice 24 heading in. Ooh, going for the Fire Rod strat, playing it a little bit safe.
Oh no, Josh got hit by that.
Yeah, just got bonked back onto the platform there. He'll be heading into Chomps. Hopefully he can get his fairy drop, give himself a little nice security there. Yeah. Just getting the one heart.
That's all right. He's got this.
Nice smooth Chomps there. So favorable RNG and some perfect block placement and timing for his iframes. So he should be looking at a fairy in one of the next couple Poke rooms. Hopefully he can get a nice position drop.
Oh, there's MC's fairy and magic drop.
So not afraid to use the Fire Rod there, knowing that he's getting a magic drop immediately as soon as he enters the precipice of the door there. Josh getting kind of an obnoxious RNG, getting a really nice delivery on it, not grabbing the fairy or the magic.
He should be fine. Keeping my fingers crossed. I'm a little surprised he didn't go for the fairy though, given what's happened to him so far in this run. I thought that just for safety he would purposely try to go for them, but I think he's probably just trying to make up time right now.
Josh heading into his pokies, getting probably, in my opinion, one of the most difficult RNGs. Down left, down left. I've practiced all of those RNGs for like an hour a piece, and that is one of the most difficult ones to manage. So good on him for getting it. Pretty solid room there.
MC having a nice laser skip, and he's going to be heading into Trinex in just a moment here.
I'll be surprised if MC picks up the heart having 12 on him. Probably doesn't want to grab them. Yeah, I figured he didn't want the beams. Although, had a little bit of an issue with the turn there. Picks up the heart afterward.
Yeah.
Kind of a wonky platform for him there. It was a little weird. He must have pressed the Y button before he turned and then turned in like a frame after or something. MC going for the front door strats, not being that annoying neighbor that tries to sneak in the back.
What kind of neighbors do you have?
I lived in the hood of Pittsburgh, man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
MC running out of magic. Oh no.
Oh no, MC.
Oh no.
No.
That is going to be really hurtful for his chances of winning the race and PBing now.
Man, that sucks.
I know, I feel so bad for him.
I was rooting so hard for that PB.
I told you. I said I didn't want to be biased, but I wanted MC to win. That's so unfortunate though. That's such a really annoying way to lose a PB run just because you didn't die to anything, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that he ran out of magic there. If it makes him feel any better, I ran out of magic 3 times here in my All Dungeons PB, so maybe. Alright. Josh killing Trinex. Did the backdoor strats. Doesn't save a whole lot of time, just a little bit actually, believe it or not. Thankfully, he doesn't have to do a whole lot on his trip back. You know, not like you do in Ice Palace anyway. You can skip a lot of these rooms, just kind of dash through them.
Definitely feeling for my boy MC right now. Any of you that run this game or have watched any of this tournament know how much of a grind this game is and how in one instant the sway of a race can take a massive twist like that. So hopefully he can have a nice follow-up fight and continue onward and see how much he can try to close the gap as much he can here heading into the final dungeon and bosses.
Still a very solid run from Mchan though. I mean, he's been on PB pace, I believe anyway, for quite a while now. So it's still a really good run from him and he should hopefully still be happy about that. Getting much better patterns here. Ooh, cutting it close there. It scared me. Trinex getting a little close to MC. But he made it out. Ooh, Josh getting trolled by the Stelphos here.
So MC's going to be talking to the last maiden here. And then he'll be heading on to Ganon's Tower as well. Hopefully he can have a nice dungeon to finish up his run. And know that we are all very proud of him because of how awesome the run was. It's just unfortunate that ran out of magic on Trinex. It's kind of puts a damper on your run for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, Josh getting hit there by that mini Helma. That guy can be a jerk.
He is a jerk. Look at him just jerking over there. Being a jerk. Jerk bird.
Jerksy worksy.
Sounds kind of like the ghost he was to if you ask me. Yeah, last maiden, Zelda, you know, potato, and they all look the same. Zelda. If it was the Zelda the Hedge Pig, I'd be much more concerned. So Josh, he has 14 arrows, which, you know, that's a really nice number to have going into the upstairs part of Ganon's Tower for the mimics and the gauntlets.
Yeah, for sure. That's a pretty comfy amount of arrows. And nice mimics. One. Really nice mimics too. See if it does Ganon Ball Z. Of course. Nice. And Gauntlet is where things kind of... This is kind of where, like, you can lose a lot of time without really even realizing it. Just depending on the RNG that you get and how you handle it.
Just got some pretty trolly RNG with those Stalfos there. Kind of went, you know, north-south, and like one went kind of like west and managed to clean it up pretty nicely.
Yeah, also getting bad RNG here.
Getting trolled by that red sea biscuit there.
Sea biscuit. Secretariat, please.
No. Secretariat's much faster.
Oh, that's
Everyone
true.
knows that.
Okay, good point. Ooh. Josh getting hit by that landmo there. Was a good fight otherwise, though. MC having a pretty good... Ooh, oh no, careful! Careful! Oh, we got him.
Oh man, MC. Playing with my heartstrings, boy.
Whew.
MC is like, I don't need those extra arrows. 10 is usually plenty, especially if you get any kind of drop of arrows in Mimics 1. You'll be pretty much set.
Nice torches room from Josh there.
Nicely done in Mimics 1 for MC. Oh, getting a little unlucky with that first Mimic in Mimics 2. Hopefully he can reposition him there.
Ooh, just enough arrows.
That's why he mirrored out when he had 10. He already knew. That is how calculated this kid is, folks. Josh Tank gonna hit when he places his bomb. He'll be getting the chest key, and here is his final key.
I didn't even know there was a heart under that pot. That second pot. Today I learned. Oof, Josh cutting, like, he only has 3 hearts here. Ugh. Now, funny thing about this boss is you can actually soft lock here. There's actually quite a few spots in GTR you can soft lock, which is annoying. But it's too complicated for me to explain. Something about it called a quadrant glitch, but basically it's you spin in just the right spot, and Moldorm, like the knockback, just basically knocks you into a different quadrant, and it's a soft lock.
Sounds like one of those things that would be really easily solved if like you just didn't have to fight Moldorm, you know? If you just like left him alone and like, you know, proceeded with the game. It sounds like that would never be an issue. Maybe Scrivo can agree with me on this one.
No.
Maybe I'll get Sabin on board with me.
No, probably not. It's
really nice cycle there on Aghanim for Joshua.
Well, you spoke too soon.
Yeah, well, I said that was a good cycle. That wasn't spoken too soon. That was spoken perfectly. The second cycle was just lame.
Okay. Alright, Josh, heading into the Ganon fight with 2 hearts. Scary for me. Probably not scary
Not
for
even
him.
cutting the Scrivo into the Ganon fight.
Rip.
MC, meanwhile, lighting his torches up here. Picking up that magic. Didn't really need that magic. I imagine he's going to be picking up the Thorn in the next room. But probably just out of habit. Grab that pot. Typically, after the Lammo fight, you need to get a little bit more to do that last fire rod.
Josh will not have any fairies or anything. He doesn't have any safeties actually, except for the Sanctuary Heart. So if he dies, he'll have to start the fight over.
MC actually missed through his bomb, so he's gonna have to pick up some backups. Getting that blue ham 83.
Dang, that guy's a jerk.
What are the chances of that happening? I don't even know. I know it's like relatively higher than you would think, though. Isn't it like 25 or something?
I don't actually know. I just know that it happens when he.
Someone in chat knows what the odds of getting the blue ham is. I know it's surprisingly high.
Yeah. MC getting that worm down. Getting the chest. 1 or 2 chests. Alright, Josh killing Ganon.
Josh finishing up Ganon.
GG.
Gonna be winning this race.
What a roller coaster this race was, though. Holy moly.
MC heading into Aghanim 2. This was one of the most entertaining races I've watched yet. Really, really glad that we got to do this one, honestly. This was a lot of fun. This is a good one.
I know. It went back and forth. And I, honestly, until pretty recently, wasn't really sure who was going to win this one. What a race. We'll see if we can get somebody in here.
No, and I'm going to have to get a second job.
Yeah.
My rent's not going to get paid.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Yeah, this was really nicely done by both runners. Really excited.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna see if we can get Yosh in here.
Meanwhile, we've got MC starting the Ganon fight here with 2.5 hearts. Both these guys went in with low hearts. Alright, I think Josh is gonna be popping in here soon. Hello, Josh. I told you he was part goat.
Oh man, it's like I'm part water dash. I feel you.
Oh god.
That was a speed run.
Yeah.
Of Legend of Zelda.
It's over.
Yeah.
That was one of the most entertaining races so far, honestly. That was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Unfortunately, you got some bad luck at a couple places. Obviously, mostly at Cold Stare, but you managed to like chip away. So it was nice to see the finish there.
I'll have to go back and watch probably the whole thing, but at least what happened at Cold Stare, because normally I can tell if I spun early, but there I thought like it just completely caught me off guard. I, like spun and they're not being hit. No, it just went very poorly. So yeah, that's hands down the worst mistake you can make at Cold Stare, is to spin early there. Because you just done no damage to all three of them, and they separate right away, and it's a high percentage death. They surround you and corner you very easily. So yeah, that was unfortunate, to say the least.
MC finishing with a 134.24. Nice run recovery for him. Unfortunate about the the Turtle Rock issue, but still overall really nice run for him.
Yeah, for sure. GG Mchan.
Didn't have any deaths. Just unfortunate that he ran out of magic on Turtle Rock.
Hello.
Finishing with a
Hey, what's up?
134-24. Nice run recovery for
Congrats
him.
on
Unfortunate
the
about
run,
the,
buddy.
Yeah,
the Turtle
thanks.
Rock
Was I on
issue,
PB
but
pace?
still overall.
You
You were on a really good pace up and until Trinex.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah, you had a 108-45 torches and Meyer. You were certainly on,
Oh, wow, that's,
on pace
that's
to
129
smash
pace.
your PB. Yeah, you were on pace to smash your PB. Not to make the fight of Trinex any more annoying to have to remember, but the silver lining there being that you have certainly shown that you can hang with even the top runners in this tournament, and hopefully you can crank out a massive PB in one of your upcoming races.
Yeah.
I said at the beginning of the race that I would not at all be surprised if you PB'd in the tournament, so kind of looking forward to see what you're able to kind of finish up with.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bunch of runs just to see how far I can go before my time is up for the tournament. And you know, I PB'd yesterday, and I was having a really good run. I had a really good run today, despite Trinex, of course. So overall, I think I'm really happy with this time.
Yeah, you definitely should be. Honestly, that was a really good run. All of your execution was seriously some of the best that you've had. Like it basically came down to just an unfortunate movement of Trinex's ice head that kind of gave you that trouble. Did you know that you were ahead for a good chunk of the late part of the race?
No, I don't usually like to look at my splits.
No, I totally get that. I was just curious. Yeah, you were actually ahead up until that point. So you actually had a fantastic race that you should definitely be proud of and carry with you into your next races coming up.
Yeah, you weren't only ahead of your splits, you were ahead of me.
Wait, really?
So,
yeah, I saw you
yeah.
at a 130.51. What happened?
I died to Gold Stare, so...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while, MC, you were in the lead, I think, until you ran out of
yeah, it was
magic
really
on
the
Trinix.
magic. We thought it was going to come down to like the wire heading into Ganon's tower prior to that. Josh had a one fall at Moldorm early on that kind of bridged the gap of the light world a little bit, and then the death at Cold Stare gave you a little bit of a lead there heading into the mid to late game.
Wow.
Yeah, but again, no, you should really be proud of your tournament race. It's not easy to crank out some of your best splits in a tournament setting, so it was a lot of fun, dude. The chat was losing it for you, man. Everyone was rooting for you to crank out a big PB, so I'm sure they will be back to see your next race.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing a lot better than the last tournament from 2 years ago. Because the last tournament I had a 141 at the time, and I never went anywhere lower than that throughout the entire tournament. So it's nice that that the community is letting me redeem myself this time around, and I'm definitely doing a lot better this time.
Yeah, the practice and all the time you put in is definitely starting to show, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. But good job, Josh. Congrats on your win.
Thanks, man. Congrats on almost beating me.
I hope there's a rematch coming up sometime.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, that's probably like a rare thing. That's like not gonna happen for a while, probably, because that's like dying to Cold Stare is like a pretty rare thing for a top level runner like you.
Yeah, but it happens. I mean, none of these races are just foregone conclusions, really. Even the top runners will sometimes die to Cold Stare, or some of the other deaths can be also really bad. Trinix pity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, any last words from the two of you?
I tried not to be biased, but I really wanted MC to win. Not
He bet his rent money on you, MC.
I did
Now
bet
he
my
can't-
rent
Everybody-
money on
everybody-
you, so
everybody wanted
you
me to
might be
win
getting
that.
a roommate pretty soon, buddy. If you already have one, tell me
Everybody-
he's
I
skedaddle.
watched the pre-show or that was happening when they were like when they were revealing the groups, and when our group got revealed, the entire chat blew up and said that they wanted me to win.
That's because
I guess you're the favorite.
everyone likes you as much as, well, not as much as I do, but almost. You know, like 7/8 of how much I like you. I shouted out. We talked about the other games you ran. We talked about your Wii U career. So you know, hopefully getting some love in those runs.
Did you talk about how he's a 100% beast?
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Oh
course.
Okay.
yeah.
Shouted out that GBA.
Yeah, he knows how to get the good RNG in 100%.
Yep.
We talked about how Josh also likes to, you know, do other things. I guess I don't know what Josh does.
Please
Wow.
I'll get that sub 150
We talked
Hundo
about Metroid
someday.
a little bit, you know, that sort of stuff. Yeah. And your massive anime collection.
Excuse me? I have never seen an anime in my life. Fun fact.
Not even Pokemon,
Not even Pokemon.
Dragon Ball Z,
Not even Dragon Ball Z.
Sailor Moon.
No. None.
Those are the only ones.
Wow.
I know.
Where have you been in your life?
Defy the stereotypes. I don't know, in Mississippi where people don't watch that stuff, I guess.
Really? So everyone in Mississippi is under a rock?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to the USA.
You just got
You-
to
you
MC
might have thought-
roasted.
You might have thought you were making a joke there, but no, you're
You're spot on.
you're right on, yeah.
All right.
We
I
got
think
another
we should
race
probably
coming up right
wrap it
after
up here,
this.
Oh yeah, I'm
Uh,
gonna be doing commentary for that.
Ooh, so if you were like, man, I wish I could have some more MC tonight, this is your chance. Your dream is coming true. Getting more of it back to back with Deebs, the dude bro sick on the mic as well. It's gonna be awesome.
I can't wait to
Yeah.
rewatch this.
So next up we have Blaine versus Zero Rush, and then after that we have Yelsrake versus D-Rock 91384. So you basically have NMG
Oh, wait.
races until about midnight Eastern time. So
MC, I got one question that I want to ask you. All right, we were trying to figure out what the number in your username came from.
Oh, the numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know actually. I just came up with those numbers.
Were
when I
you
was-
born on March 38th?
No.
All right, I was positive, but it's not. All right,
Maybe
we're
next
out.
My birthday was 3 weeks ago.
close.
Happy late birthday.
Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're rolling out. So thanks everyone for watching,
Deuces.
and make sure you stay tuned here for more NMG races coming up all night.